Somewhere on Earth right now, there is a rock that is 4 billion years old. It has never moved. It has never been touched. And if something landed near it 3 billion years before the first human ever opened their eyes, that rock would be the only witness left. What if that already happened? Not aliens meeting cavemen, not flying saucers over pyramids, something stranger, something earlier. What if visitors came to this planet so long ago that there was no one here to see them at all? Your instinct is to picture a spaceship landing next to a person, a handshake, a photograph. But that scene requires two things lining up perfectly. Someone has to arrive, and someone has to already be standing there to greet them. Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Humans, in any recognizable form, have existed for around 300,000 years. That means for over 99.9% of this planet's history, nobody was home. So ask yourself, if a visit happened, when was it most likely to happen? Statistically, almost certainly not during your ancestors' brief flicker of existence. It was most likely long before there were any eyes to look up. This is where the real science gets stranger than the myth. In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi sat down to lunch with colleagues and asked a simple question that still haunts astronomers today. If the universe is so vast and so old and so full of stars, where is everybody? This became known as the Fermi Paradox. The math suggested intelligent life should be common. The silence suggested otherwise. And one of the most unsettling proposed answers is called the Great Silence Hypothesis, which suggests civilizations might rise, expand, and vanish long before their signals ever reach a planet capable of receiving them. Now, hold that thought next to Earth's actual timeline. Picture the planet 3 billion years ago. No trees, no animals, not even oxygen in the air yet. Not really. Just oceans, volcanic rock, and single-celled organisms quietly rearranging chemistry in the dark. If something intelligent passed by during that window, what would it have found? Not a civilization to contact, not even a creature to observe, just a wet, restless rock, doing something interesting at the microscopic level, and nothing else. Would that count as a visit? Or would it just be a stop nobody remembers because there was no one here yet capable of remembering anything? This is the strange part your brain resists. You want a story with a witness, a cave painting, a frightened shepherd, a myth passed down. But if a visit came early enough, there would be no witness to leave one, no language to describe it in, no mind on the entire planet built to interpret light where there shouldn't be light, or motion where there shouldn't be motion. The event could be completely real and completely unrecorded, not because it was hidden, but because there was nothing here yet capable of noticing. So what would be left behind? Not a monument, not a message, something smaller and far harder to fake. A trace buried in rock, a signature in isotopes that shouldn't be there. This isn't science fiction either. Scientists already search for exactly this kind of thing, and they have a name for it, a technosignature. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb has argued that if any advanced civilization ever passed through our solar system, even briefly, it might have left physical debris behind, drifting quietly for millions or billions of years, waiting to be noticed. Not a spaceship parked in a museum, a fragment, a signature, a whisper in the geological record, indistinguishable from noise unless you already knew to look for a pattern. Here's a question worth sitting with. How would you even recognize evidence like that if you found it? Geologists already do something remarkably similar every single day. They read stone the way you read a page. A thin, dark line running through layered rock might mark the exact moment an asteroid struck 66 million years ago, ending the age of dinosaurs. That line is not a photograph. It's not a story. It's a chemical signature. An unusual concentration of a rare element called iridium, sitting quietly in rock all over the planet, waiting 150 million years to be understood. If a natural catastrophe can leave a trace that subtle, and it took until 1980 for scientists Walter and Luis Alvarez to even propose what it meant, imagine how easily a single, ancient, brief, and deliberate visit could vanish into the same silence. Not because it was covered up, because nobody was reading the page yet. This changes the entire question you started with. It's not, did ancient humans meet aliens? It's something closer to, how would you ever know? And would you even be looking in the right place? Consider your own reflex for a second. When people imagine ancient contact, they almost always place it near humans, pyramids, cave paintings, old stone circles. But that instinct says more about you than it does about the universe. You're pattern matching to what feels emotionally satisfying. A meeting, a message, a moment that centers people. The universe has no obligation to satisfy that instinct. If visitors came before there were people at all, there would be no pyramid to point to, no painting, no campfire story passed down for 10,000 generations. Just rock, ice cores, ocean sediment, the kind of evidence that doesn't care whether anyone finds it moving. And this is where it gets personal. Even though nothing here is about you directly, you already trust evidence you can't see with your own eyes. You trust that dinosaurs existed because of bones in the ground, not because anyone alive today watched one walk. You trust the asteroid impact happened because of a thin gray line in rock layers on multiple continents, not because it was filmed. Evidence for something ancient and unwitnessed doesn't need a photograph. It needs a pattern that shouldn't be there, and a discipline willing to notice it. So, if a visit happened 3 billion years ago, before eyes, before language, before anything on Earth was capable of forming a memory, the proof wouldn't look like a UFO. It would look like an anomaly in the geological record, a chemical trace that doesn't belong, a fragment recovered from deep ice or deep rock that carries a signature scientists don't yet have a natural explanation for. And crucially, most such anomalies, when investigated, do turn out to have a natural explanation. That's not disappointing. That's how the search actually works. You rule out the ordinary first, and what's left, if anything is ever left, is what gets taken seriously. That is the honest version of this question. Not certainty, not proof. A window of possibility so early in Earth's history that no one could have written it down, paired with a real, ongoing scientific effort to search stone, ice, and sediment for exactly the kind of trace such a visit might leave. Here's the last thing worth carrying with you. You were never going to be the one who saw it if it happened. Not you, not your ancestors, not anyone with a name history remembers. If contact ever came, it very likely came to a planet with no one home. Not a secret kept from you, just a story that started before there was anyone here to listen. Somewhere, that rock is still there. It has never moved. It has never been touched, and it is still the only witness left.